Long have we waited, now we debated or something. I don't know how the meme goes, but yeah, it's I've been sitting here for almost 2 hours now streaming because I wasn't sure whether the game would start earlier, like right after the C-Deck versus Wings series. But it was supposed to start as scheduled. Problem is, scheduled time was like 37 minutes ago. So I'm just glad we're finally here, finally get to cast Dota. He coming in as a last minute caster once again, because there was some, I don't know, some confusion, some issues. But hey, Blaze asked me to cast, so here I am. And I'm glad, because Chinese Dota, I've haven't had the chance to cast or watch as much as I was want to, but I did cast a couple of games during the Kiev Major qualifiers, and what I saw was pretty damn amazing. Very entertaining Dota. And yeah, looking back at that particular tournament here, iG.Vitality and LFY, they faced up against each other. iG.Vitality won that best of one. And of course, as we all know, they also made it through the qualifiers all the way and made it to the Kiev Major. So maybe that gives you an idea of what to expect here. At the same time, LFY, last time they matched up in a best of three, they won that one 2-1, but that was all the way back in January. So, excited to see what we have here. My name, of course, is Drag and Drop, in case you didn't know. And, got a draft going here. Centaur, Warrunner, first pick from iG.V. Nothing crazy there. That making it through the banning, through the stage, through the banning stage. Very strong offlane hero, fits into a number of drafts. The ultimate, obviously, super great at just escaping or initiating even. Just that extra mobility gives you so many more options, also in terms of drafts. Like you can pick some heroes that sometimes have issues with being kited or that don't have an escape, and you can make them work and you can reap those benefits. LGD, Forever Young and Old, pick up the Crystal Maiden first. Now, that's a hero that I see every once in a while. Legion Commander as well, alright? They're pulling out all the stops here. But yeah, CM, one of their more picked heroes here, 4 times this month. Legion Commander, don't see that one in their list of recent heroes picked, so seems that they would have a plan. The question is, what is that plan? And you could say Legion Commander with a duel, of course, Centaur Warner Stampede will not help you running away from that one. CM with Root also pretty good with a Frostbite, very potent disable in these kind of circumstances. The slow, of course, not so much, and I'm not sure whether she'll ever get enough money for the Agnum Scepter. But yeah. Curious to see how LFY want to actually run that CM, whether it's poor 5 position or whether they want to run it as a 4, which can actually make quite a lot of stuff happen, right? If you get some get a quick blink dagger or something like that, you can actually set up quite a lot all across the map, especially against heroes like Centaur, like Warlock. Just setting up for the rest of your team to come in and follow up on your Frostbite. And yeah, the ultimate actually also is doing a lot of damage if you can manage to get it full channel off. So interested to see whether LFY can actually make use of that. Because Centaur, of course, pretty good disable, can just run in towards the CM, cross all the slows and whatever, and stomp her down. Warlock with the ultimate, if he has that available, can drop that down as a counter initiation tool. In case you find yourself in one of these big team fights with CM ulti going and a bunch of other heroes next to them as well. Um, yeah, other than that, just some strong laning coming through. And Legion Commander especially can be run in a variety of different ways. So LFY, if nothing else, they kind of keep their options open and obfuscate their draft a little bit, which is always a great thing to be doing, especially up against an opponent who is maybe regarded to be the favorites coming into the matchup like this. Oh yeah, by the way, in case you didn't know, this is the Minimum Masters China qualifiers, first round in the upper bracket. So even the team that loses here will not drop out. Instead, they'll drop to the lower bracket. The winner will face up against either iG or VG Gaming. The winner of that series will move on. Yeah, that'll be the second round of the upper bracket. So no one's going home today, but still, of course, if you can avoid going to the lower bracket after your first match, that would be great. Good bans coming out here. The Pudge ban as well. LFY have been running that here themselves a little bit, I want to say, but iG.Vitality also. I believe Dogfights likes to have that on himself. Yeah, they've picked that here 6 times in the last month. So just taking that out of the picture just is generally a good idea if you're worried about it. I mean, Pudge is one of these heroes that just changes the way the game has to be played just by being in there. Much like an IO, right? As long as he's off the map, you always have to constantly worry about your positioning so as to not get hooked, not get run down with rods or something like that. And it also makes high ground a very tricky affair, both pushing high ground as well as defending high ground. Because one single hook can just change the entire dynamic of the standoff that you see sometimes. iG.V taking out the bounty hunter, that's a bit interesting. Maybe that's setting up for some sort of jungle pick or roamer of their own. Because either Warlock nor Centaur generally have a lot of issues with bounty hunter. So we'll see what they want to pick up next. Could maybe turn this into an early push strat. Kind of use the threat of the Warlock ulti once he hits 6. As well as just the strength of the initiation of the Centaur. To just give themselves a good position to start a team fight with. And then just use that pressure, that threat to take down towers without LFY being able to respond to that. And I don't know, LFY got some good push of their own. DK very tanky. He can start and go into these kind of brawls and survive and still be useful. Phoenix as well, so they're setting themselves up for some interesting team fight. So far, not many right clickers on iG.V. I wonder if they want to pick up something like a troll, but instead it's going to be Juggernaut. So it's also one of these classic counters to the Phoenix. You can just spin off these fire spirits and still right click away at the egg. So yeah, I really don't know what to think about LFY's draft. I mean, if you look at iG.V, it's pretty much meta. Right? You see these heroes, you know what they can do and want to do. With LFY, I mean, I don't know if it's a Chinese thing or not, but I haven't seen a Dragon Knight in quite a while. Especially not together with a Phoenix, a Legion Commander, and a Crystal Maiden. Thing is though, with the CM aura, this might just offset their early game advantage enough so that they can get enough money and get going quickly enough so that they can actually beat the threat of iG.V head on. Or alternatively, just go for the split push, right? Dragon Knight is the only real pusher right now. Maybe that's not the way that we want to play it. Instead, I want to say they're looking to try and fight iG.V when they come in at you at your towers, and then go from there. As I said, they have an okay amount of control. Phoenix with some slows, good damage over time. The Phoenix X is super good if you can actually prevent people from right-clicking it. And you have the DK stun, you have the CM Frostbite. Legion Commander Duel also pretty good in conjunction with that. Unless you just dive in on 5 heroes and no one else is actually doing anything. But of course, I don't expect that to be happening anytime soon. Alright. Just checking whether everything's alright with the stream. Should be good, yeah. I did set in game as well, right? Yeah, alright. And the Slark last pick. Alright, so this mixes a Juggernaut mid, center offlane, Slark safe lane. Once again, not sure how to feel about that one. I'm not the biggest fan of the hero. Especially not in this day and age when it's all about 5-manning and Slark just needs a lot of items to be able to fight into that. At the same time, he should be able to kill CM every single time when he has a Shadow Blade. And I really don't know. I mean, it's great against Phoenix in lane, I guess, with the Q just being able to purge off the fire spirits, but this is like a quality of life thing. First thing I can think about. The question is still how LFY are gonna lane this. I assume DK mids, CM down bottom slash jungling, perhaps LC offlane together with the Phoenix, and now if they pick up another self-sustaining carry, maybe something like a Weaver. Would actually fit quite well here. It's not too much lockdown. Obviously up against a Rubik, so giving up the Shikuchi, maybe not the best idea. And there's still an okay amount of lockdown. And a decent amount of burst to go with it, from the centaur especially. Okay, it's gonna be Vengeful Spirit, so they're gonna go all out on this idea. Hey, let's get ahead early, and let's fight them when they come to us, and let's just outpace them. I think this is what's happening. Yeah, DK mid, unless this is like, maybe it's some weird aggro lane with Avenge, Phoenix, and Crystal Maiden. Legion Commander solo safe, this would be another option, but I do expect this LC to go offlane. We'll find out in a moment, guys, as we head into game one of this best of 3 between iG.Vitality and LGD.Forever Young here in the Manila Masters Chinese qualifiers. The winner of this one will move on in the upper bracket. The loser of this best of 3 will drop down to the lower bracket, where they of course have a chance of being knocked out of the tournament. Not just yet though, we're just getting started here. Alright. Still, I don't think I've seen this type of draft before, at least not recently. Some elements of it, sure, yeah, but DK, Phoenix, not exactly common heroes. It's just my ignorance of the Chinese meta these days, but I don't even think so. So yeah, curious to see how they can put that together. And there are some ways, right? If Legion Commander can win some duels, that'd be great. And we get this amazing screen. Awesome. Absolutely amazing. They just changed it recently. Previously we just had the normal transition, like, oh yeah, hang on. But now we get this the screen that we also get an all pick. LFY on the Radiant side. We've got Super on the Dragon Knight, Monet playing the Vengeful Spirit, White on the Crystal Maiden, LPC the Phoenix. And yeah, it looks like it is going to be that's a safe lane Legion Commander played by Jixing after all. Putting them on the side of iG.V, we've got Dogfights on the Rubik, in July playing the Centaur, Cicada on the Juggernaut. Another Super because that's not confusing at all. He's playing the Warlock. Looking for a smoke rotation, not gonna find anyone though. And Paparazzi, of course, last but not least, on the safe lane Slark. He's probably gonna get some help soon. You don't want to leave Slark alone in lane. That's a recipe for disaster, especially against a tri-lane like this. Carry Venge with CM and Phoenix. That's actually a lot of early game damage output, so you definitely want to watch out for that. And as soon as iG.V realized this, yeah, they're already making the adjustments. In July, making his way up top, and Paparazzi down bottom. Let's just make sure that he can actually get some farm. In dogfights, look at this. He Lone Rubik is sufficient to just keep Jixing away from the bounty. And of course he didn't necessarily know where the other guys were, so a lift into some follow-up would easily be the first blood. So it's definitely important though, considering that LFY did the same thing on the other side of the map, contested the rune and got it for themselves, and even looking to try and maybe set up something cheeky. White sitting in the side here, looking to wrap around. Monet also ready to eat through trees, perhaps. And in July might be caught bait, and there it is. Frostbite, follow-up stun available now. Couple of right clicks should be the first blood, especially with the dive through. And LPC is the one who claims it. Quite a bit of damage in the process, but it's going to be fine with that. Super unable to help. Last word would not have been enough, so they do they read the lanes, but they still get caught out by this. Not exactly the best start. At the same time, down bottom should be an okay matchup here, just with the two of them. Dogfights kind of try and keep Jixing at bay while Paparazzi is farming. Not a whole lot of kill potential here on either side, especially not when Jixing gets a couple of extra levels. In fact, that might make it a little bit more difficult here if he chooses to go for the Q spam. Because Slark, until he's level 6, he can run out of region pretty fast if he's not careful. Might force rotations down from Super, which make it even harder for iG.July to stay alive up here. For now, he has to rely on his buddy. Make sure that he can't even get close to the wave. Alright, mid lane matchup 1v1. Melee versus melee. One of these few matchups that I want to say is actually Dragon Knight favorite. Normally he's the kind of throwaway hero that you put mids. He's always going to get some XP and farm because of his Breathe Fire. And he's just not losing the lane, generally speaking. But up against another melee hero, we can even win it. I mean, Juggernaut of course going for the permanent shield, which makes it harder to harass just with right clicks. And he also has slightly better attack damage because of it. But of course the Breathe Fire makes it so much easier. Reducing that base damage. This is the biggest crutch. Wrap around perhaps some dogfights. Probably just looking for the curry here with the ward, but now top lane, TPing dead, maybe. I don't think I can actually make something happen here, not unless LFY misplay. And get in range of a stomp or something. So leaving Slog to his own devices down bottom. Which means that Jixing, if he realizes this, he should be able to put on more pressure on him. And this is the lane that Legion Commander wins. If Slog is left alone. So something has to happen top here. Lockdown though onto Rubik. He'll die first, despite the Shadow Word. Barely any damage down to LFY at all. In fact, they're looking for more here. Monet with another stun in a second. Frostbite already there. iG.July will be the second one to die. iG.V. Don't think that was the play. I think you just try and soak experience as center, or put the supports bottom, or even just try to rotate mid. I mean, Super on the DK. Not the easiest target to gank, but at the same time, it must be easy to try to fight into this. Frostbite, Venge Stun. Phoenix with a dive, as well as a Sunray, just doing so much work in these kind of situations. Gotta respect that. Yeah, down bottom we already see it. Paparazzi's out of region. Jixing still has a healing salve, and extra mango, 2 points up in the overwhelming odds, so he has to shrine up now. Meanwhile, region being picked up by Super. Great. Interesting place for groups to meet, but hey. But yeah, we do see him go slightly ahead in terms of CS. There's a big couple of creeps here to actually chew up. Meanwhile, dogfights. Not quite sure what he was doing there, but he does get caught out of the rotation. Easy kill. This trial lane is working for LFY, and it has to, right? Every time you go for an aggro trial like this, you have to make kills happen, or else you're just missing out in terms of gold and experience. Because these supports generally spending less time stacking and pulling and whatnot. But hey, so far so good. If they can keep that momentum up, they can translate that into rotations towards mid. Can kind of ignore the Slag for a while. Especially considering the start that he's getting here in this 1v1 up against LC. He's not going to be too big of a factor if LFY starts a 5-man. Because what's Slag going to do? He's going to go in, maybe do a little bit of damage and then die. It's not the way you want to be. And now, there it is. Bit of an adjustment finally from iG.V. iG.July and Dogfights both smoked up. iG.July only level 3. It's not the biggest nuke available. Dogfights level 2, but they're looking for Super here. Skada trying to juke and jive a little bit. Just gonna walk straight in. Alright. Blade Fury comes through. Lift into Stomp. Follow up with Double Edge. And enough damage. Just barely. Sunray comes through. Just trying to turn us around. The Omni Slash. Doing a bit of damage. Forcing LPC to cancel that dive midway. But yeah, he's fast enough. He's able to walk away and drag a bunch of creeps with him. Not sure if that was intended, but they're gonna make their way back now. Which is actually good, because now Tower's not being pressured. It's gonna be a double creep wave for Super to chew up once he TP's back. But in fact, he went to the top lane here, and there's some action happening. Warlock, once again, we've seen this dance before, except now it's on a tower, but he's actually being kept alive by the Shadow Word. A miscalculation, but now Super turning this into another bait. Angelai starting to drop low himself, will be brought down. Dogfights. Last man standing, who's in any sort of fighting shape, goes for the Tom. Not sure if that was the right play here, because he's still in a lot of trouble. Extra nukes from Super will clean him up a double kill. And the other Super is just sitting in the trees. Just letting his his namesake do all the work for the other team. Then again, of course, out of mana. Not much else he could have done. But yeah, somehow Monet survives after an attempt at a turnaround on a tower dive, and this never feels good if you're on the side of iG.V. Expect to be able to turn these things around, because Vengeful Spirit, at the best of times, is always going to be squishy. Same for Crystal Main. So you have rotation, if you have any sort of control, if Tower starts hitting the Venge, she's just dead. As it stands, Monet able to survive on the back of the wand, Super rotating in at just the right time. They also did some damage to the tower. Paparazzi making rotation now through as well. Looking to try and get some safe CS, and definitely needs it. 34 now as opposed to the 44 of Jixing. Who has the Faith Boots, one of his own, can now start to go into his Blink Dagger probably. Or Armlet first, I guess. Is how people play these days. I wonder if he's even considering a Shadow Blade or something like that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, maybe not this game. I think you only go Shadow Blade like as a secondary item if you feel like you need it. Like you need some additional mobility and initiation. Or if you really need a Silver Edge, but this game is not really the case. Alright. iG.V. Down in kills. In terms of farm, as well. About 2k ahead in favor of LFY, and they're still not done yet. Now they're smoked up. Super, once again, very active. Level 7 Dragonite, has another dragon form. Jixing also making the first rotation of the game. So we want to start to try and get in these dual wins. They're walking across an observer ward, of course. Not being seen by, because of the smoke, so Super thought he was safe, but he really wasn't. Jixing starting to walk. Can go for the duel here, and he does. Do they have enough damage to follow through with Shadow Word? Yes! Just barely. Follow-up rotation is coming through. Paparazzi trying to burst down Super. Sunray trying to keep him alive for the Omni Slash. This gives him enough damage here. Also transferring onto Jixing, so it's a secondary kill. 2 for 2 trade here, definitely in favor of iG.V though, as they're finally able to make one of these turnarounds happen. And they got 2 cores in exchange for the 2 supports. Great recovery from them here. Sakata going straight for the Diffusal Blade. Interesting choice. Not sure what that is for particularly. It is nothing like the Ghost Scepter or anything coming up anytime soon. I don't know. I mean, alternatives would be something like Maelstrom. To help you farm, but I guess the Field Blade, nothing else, it gives you an extra slow, extra amount of control. And a good amount of damage output, especially here towards these rather squishy heroes. So it does make some sense. In July now, Invis Runes, so it could be nice actually, but they has been spotted by his high ground observers, so it's, that might be in July who's being swapped out back into stun. They're stacking it a little bit, but they have enough damage with that CM ultimate. Great catch there now. Dogfights has to run away, being kept alive by the Shadow Word. Sakala spinning out. Paparazzi also makes rotation through, so they want to fight once the Centaur's back. He still has Stampede, can TP in. The question is, will the tower die before that? Super without an ultimate makes it a little bit harder, but they're just right-clicking down. Perhaps going, yeah, not being denied, but now the lift. Sunray keeps him alive. The Drog to try and turn this around, and they will be able to secure the kill with that. The Sun brought down, and LFY biting up a bit more than they can chew. Even without the Centaur, just his ultimate is enough. That together with the Warlock 6. They lose the tower. but they gain a couple of extra crucial kills to just get them back into this game. Looking at Network, he has the Carter now at the top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And even the Slark, who didn't have the best lane, is still on par with Legion Commander now because of all of these exchanges. But now they have to be careful not to extend the welcome themselves. The Carter spins out. Should be able to make it all the way, unless they have some follow-up control, and they do with the Frostbite, extra slow.
Top tower is under attack.
Monet trying to get in. Well, nice little vision for the swap into the duel. Beautiful play there.
Radiant's bottom tower is
That's
under
the strength
attack.
of a 5-man for LFY if they actually get to dictate the pace of the team fight. Now with one hero down, they have the dragon form. Straight for a tier 2, not even wasting time on the tier 1s. Yeah, with these kind of lineups, you gotta take the opportunities as you get them. You have a creep wave at the tier 2. Better take that, because you have the potential to do so with the DK ulti.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
iG.V though, making the best of it. Paparazzi found in the jungle. Injuly down in the lane. Up top, we've got Dogfight just getting his levels. Poor Rubik. Barely level 5. Needs one more creep to get there. This is the thing keeping him the most. I mean, if Dogfight can steal some of these spells, even just one of these stuns,
Is under attack.
that would be amazing. But as it stands,
Dire's top
not
tower
quite there
is
yet.
under
Super
attack.
using the last of his dragon form to also clean up this tower. Now they can start TPing bottom to try and defend this, but they decide otherwise. Paparazzi and Injuly both showed there. Taking this one down. Meanwhile, mid though, that's worth defending though. Skada's in the side, he does have Omni Slash level 1, this is a creep wave though, so instead he's just trying to go for the tower. Super not quite ready to go for the 9. Now Omni Slash comes through, Jixing. Ready with the duel, just deciding whether he wants to throw it out or not. Maybe not with that spin going, and now
Radiant's bottom tower is
Stampede
under
makes it
attack.
easy for Skada to continue the escape. iG.V, say they've stabilized, they've even gone ahead on their course. Which is of course a result of this 5-man from LFY. Spending a lot of time just trying to look for fights and just walking together, not a lot of time farming. And iG.V so far, making good use of it. Shadowblade already completed on Slug. Scouting out, seeing where everyone's at.
I'll take that.
The smoke, it will break actually. Paparazzi, no more invis, but he jumps away. Kinda hard to lock down a Slug like that if you're not ready for a Jixing. Might have been able to actually get the duel off. I don't think that's, yeah, that doesn't get broken by the Q.
Mine.
Right. Super down bottom. Paparazzi looking at him. He does need some help though, if he actually wants to kill him, I think. Or does he? He's gonna get some help, but so is Super. This could turn into a great fight for LFY here, and there it is. Initiation comes through. Now LFY would show the card Sunray to keep Super alive to spin. Not quite enough damage. Now White with the ultimate slowing down Juggernaut, doing plenty of extra damage. Paparazzi himself able to weave out of there, but still. Great read there from LFY, or maybe not so great read from iG.V. Of course, a tier 1 tower.
Radiant's
Obvious next target for LFY, so they made the rotation.
bottom tower is under attack.
iG.Vitality kind of got baited there a little bit and lost the Juggernaut, and they're gonna lose the tower. Once again, the flip side though is Super up top,
Dire's
getting his
bottom
levels,
tower
getting some gold, getting some pressure on tier 1 there.
Radiant's top tower is
Middle
under
lane we've got
attack.
Paparazzi farming away still, and Dogfight is level 6 now. So iG.V is still getting something
Is under attack.
off of these
Radiant's
map
top
movements from
tower is
LFY. Not just holding up in a base, not just yet. So if they can keep this going, they can still get the farm that they need on their course. Then it's going to come down to LFY just being able to execute flawlessly. Because if you have a farmed Slark up against you and you're starting to split up a little bit too much, like start to get complacent, if you don't keep vision going, if you don't just stay on top of like game awareness, map sense and whatnot, then you can start falling behind very, very quickly, and that's where these kind of type of drafts really start to fall apart. iG.V now, looking to smoke it. Okay. I saw that, guys. I saw that. That was a double smoke. Not what I wanted, but hey. Big question is, can I get a kill off of that? LFY starting to group up, so once again. They also smoked up on the wards, so hey. Not that you would expect a ward to be exactly there. LFY with their own smoke here. Past Paparazzi though with the Invis Sentry coming down a little bit too late. And Schleich comes in with double stomp. Paparazzi looking to try and blow up the DK, but nice little swap out defensively. And in fact, it's going to be Rubik who dies first. Meanwhile, in the back, a lot of AoE damage being done. Finishes off the Rubik. Super able to arm the target his way through the man fight. Up against Sakata, and yeah, Jixing. Didn't get a duel win. Not sure when he threw that one out, but this is iG.Vitality running into the open knife. LFY ready for that. Even though it was a nice double stomp to start off the fight for iG.V, it was kind of crazy how big of an AoE that was. It was like something like this. That's super in the front, one of the tankiest heroes, so no easy way to burst him down. Monet with the defensive swap at the right time to make sure that he can arm the target his way through. Then everything else started to fall apart. CM got a good channel off. Supports were kept busy by Jixing in the back. A great Phoenix Sun that they couldn't respond to in all this chaos. And this is where the team fight from LFY really shines at this point in the game. 18 minutes in. Had a huge power spike. And iG.Vitality were just looking for a pick-off. They weren't looking for a team fight, I don't think. Super didn't even get to throw his rock down. That's how quick that it was. Yeah. Well, they're unfazed. Gonna try again. 5-man movement into the Radiant side jungle. Almost all the ultimates back up there for LFY. Phoenix Sun and 10. Because iG.Vitality have their own ultis. Apart from the Omnis Slash, it's on a similar kind of cooldown. So might see another similar clash. Just a moment's time. That is Blinks. Both sides, I believe. Yeah, Jixing blinked away. Now it's actually moving in, trying to scout out something. Fighting around the shrine would be a good idea. If they can all get there at the same time. iG.V ready for it, but they think, yeah, they're also thinking about, alright, maybe not the best idea to hang around here, if LFY knows what we're doing. So far, they've been showing some good game sense. Also on the back of good wards. I mean, this was an ingenious ward. You don't expect that to come out. So that definitely helped out, just literally seeing the smoke, and a double smoke even. As it stands now, LFY, there's another one of those. Saw Cicada, it sees in July. Doesn't see dogfights though. Jixing comes in, blink, blade mail, duel. Bit of a lift here, might still have enough damage. Not with the rock coming through though, so the duel will expire. The Phoenix Sun in the middle of that. Omni Slash coming through. They will lose the Legion Commander, they will lose the Phoenix Sun. They focus on that too. White now with his ultimate, not nearly as effective though, because don't really have the follow-up and don't have the ability to keep them in there unless the counter just decides to still fight Super inside that AoE. Not sure what that was about, but now, okay. Dogfights still got him somehow. Not sure how that was going on, but the fight's not over yet. The other Super is still alive, but not for too much longer. Monet showing his power to carry revenge, just cleaning house after the fact. So I did not expect this fight to go this badly after iG.V. They will turn around on the back of the rock, but then I guess the other toggles were too much to handle. And then just a CM ultimate, right? I mentioned it in the draft. It's very easy to underrate, but it's actually a really, really good spell if you can channel it properly and for a long time. And he was able to do so, and iG.V got burned by it. Was sitting on the edge there. So even though it was a bit of a botched initiation perhaps from LFY, and that kind of Jixing blinking into a couple more heroes than you maybe would have wanted to. Oh, speaking of blinking, that is Blink Stomp, follow-up control with the lift, but the Sunray keeping him alive. Now the turnaround, Centaur immediately regretting his decision right now, and dogfights might not be out of the woods just yet either. Being slowed down, super with a blink stun. Yeah, that's a secondary kill. And just playing with the food, trying to decide who to give it to. And of course, it is Jixing with the duel. Third duel win of the game, now up to 34. Maybe not the best. He could have gotten maybe 1 or 2 more. But still, not the worst either. They don't need him to do damage right now. They're still just riding the wave.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright. Now, 5-mid setup down bottom as you would
Dire's
expect.
bottom tower is under attack.
Get a kill, get the creeps, get a tower. Easy game. And iG.V, okay, pausing the game, sure, why not? But yeah, iG.V have to fall back to their farming mode a little bit. Still have this tier 2 bottom plus the tier 2 top to try and
Dire's
buy them
bottom
more
tower is
time
under attack.
to get where they need to be. Because Sakata, especially if you look at him, right, this just exemplifies this completely. They lost these last couple of fights because they ran into this team fighting lineup without having the proper advantages. So that lead that they had earlier on Sakata has all but evaporated. He does have the Field Blade, but still working on the Manta, nowhere near nowhere near finishing it. My phone keeps beeping. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, okay, it's just Twitter. Nothing to worry about. They keep going for these kind of plays here. Another smoke coming through. If they can find a solo hero like Monet, that'd be great, but he's being backed up by the rest of his team. This time there was a smoke underwater, I don't believe, but still, great game sense from L.G.D.F.Y. It's knowing exactly. Alright, we don't see anybody. They've been smoking and grouping up a lot in the past. So let's just do that ourselves. Make sure that we don't get caught out. Make sure that we don't give iG.V any quarter. Even though they're the ones holding the Aegis, but they're playing scared. Where's it actually? Gone already? Oh yeah, they lost in the last fight, didn't they? Yeah, okay. I got confused, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's ultimately a bit of time wasted from iG.V. At the same time, though, L.G.D.Y also didn't do anything during that time. In fact, they're now smoking up themselves, while iG.V is already farming. So in that sense, still getting something off of this, but it's marginal at best. I mean, Slark, Shellblade, BKB, bare minimum. He needs BKB this game for sure. It's never an item that you really want to buy on Slark. You'd rather have an Echo Saber. The smoke rotation. Completely passed by a super up here. In fact, not going to find anything but an empty jungle, devoid of creeps even as iG.V found that up. So they're getting some time gifted now. Question is, what can they do with it? They can finish the meta style, which would be useful for like frostbite and stuff like that. Just getting rid of some damage over time spells. Bottom lane is pushing in. Paparazzi able to should even be able to trade for this tier 2. Or down below half health.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Sees a couple of heroes top. They should be able to reduce that. The rest of L.G.D.Y is just waiting to jump on anybody who dares defend. This is all well and good for L.G.D.Y if they can actually take the same strategy to the high ground, which is the biggest thing. This is where these kind of strats, these kind of drafts are made or broken. If you can go high ground, if you can break it on the back of this momentum, you can win the game. If you can't, then it's always just going to translate into more time for iG.V to get their items up on the carries. And they've got a good lineup for team fighting if they get some extra items on the belt, under the belt. You're thinking late game, thinking Axe and Centaur. Thinking Rubik, of course, as well. It's a great team fighter even right now. Now Super might be in trouble actually. Paparazzi coming through. They have the control. Follow up there from dogfights. And yeah, he is quite tanky. He's armor toggling, but cannot arm the toggle through this much BS essentially without some some form of help. And the rest of LFY in that particular moment not ready to respond. So great catch of my GB. Once again, giving them more time. That's all they need. All of a sudden, Slark has his next item. Juggernaut has his next item. You have a level 2 Rock and Super. All this time that LFY is spending just walking around, they're not farming. You see it in the graph. This was the last team fight and the last tower. This right here, this bump. And ever since then, steadily declined. Because they feel forced to farm in this 5-man unit. And I can definitely understand that, right? Especially if you're not exactly sure where iG.V is. Because can keep doing these kind of things that in July is doing, just sitting on the side, just waiting to jump on somebody. If they're confident that they're alone, if they're confident that they can burst that hero down. Even if it's a tanky one like Super. So they need to do something. Even if the BKB on Venge. They have a decent amount of damage here with the auras and everything. But they need to be the ones that are active, right? I mean, am I just getting this wrong? Am I just missing something here that allows LFY to actually just sit under the tier 2 this entire game and still win it? I don't think so. Alright, top lane Jixing, pushing that one out a bit. Going for zone BKB, so maybe that's what they were waiting for, some of these items. Butterfly in the works for Monet, still gonna be a while though. Glimmer Cape on Crystal Maiden, so White actually quite far. Super with his own BKB. So we've got 3 BKBs on the course. White is going on Phoenix, so it's going for the Shiva's God Hazard about 700 gold. All these movements though, without smoke, they are spotted out by there's good ward coverage there from iG.V. Roshan, alright. The big guy is the target. Alright, makes a bit more sense now. So they waited for the BKBs, waited for Roshan. And that's the timing. They can use his Aegis to win a team fight and go high ground. They're in a good position. If they don't, iG.V is looking better and better. So far, they have to know what's up. Dogfights just pushing down the bottom lane, doing damage to tier 3 without it being responded to. Yeah, they know what's going on. They're just making a choice not to contest it. Instead, they're pushing out all the lanes so that LFY cannot immediately respond with a tower push. So they have to respond to these side lanes, to the middle lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a very tactical, very strategic game in that sense.
I'll take that.
Yeah. It's definitely, once again, it's on LFY to do something, so we're just waiting to see essentially whether iG.V is able to keep them from getting that opportunity. And things like this help. Dogfight showing off his blink, followed with the Storm, that's a dead Phoenix. Easy escape with Stampede. Surgical strikes, keeping lanes pushed out. This is the way that you respond to this. Just starve them out. Yeah, we've seen it. I mean, Blink, BKB, Armlet. Good items for DK, but he's slowed down. Monet as well. Still far away from his next item. Soul's Jixing. He's going back for the Shadow Blade, just realizing once again. Talked about this before. They need a little bit more initiation, more scouting potential as well, because they're starting to kind of lack the vision. Because they're actually seeding the map to iG.V. They have the Aegis. This time around they actually have it. Right? They have the Aegis. They have no reason to be scared right now, really. And if they are, well, you know, Just signing their own death warrant in this game, I suppose. Talk some more about the other items inside of iG.V. We've got the Slug Paparazzi with the Silver Edge. So, quite useful actually against the Dragon Knight. Able to take this Dragon Blood away. That's 12 health regen, 12 armor. It's a ridiculous amount taken away with just a single hit. Glimmer Cave, Axe and 4 stuff queued up for Warlock. Not that Super is gonna get too much farm here anytime soon. Axe also works for Centaur, and he's more than halfway there, so this is also a big potential game changer for iG.V. That allows them to be even more aggressive on the team fight front. They're able to time this well, then a lot of this damage from LFY between like the CM ult, just the initial burst with the control, or the Phoenix Sun, a lot of that is going to be mitigated. There you have the Juggernaut, who is going for Skadi now after his own Blink Manta. He's picked up again, right? Remember how I talked before about how after the team fights he slipped below in terms of net worth? He below Monet and Super. That was all the way at the top of the chart in that game. Oh man. Okay. I don't think they want to push this out. Just once again, just setting up for maybe an opportunity. But this is LFY, rather running into the scan. Its own scan, never mind. So not that big of an issue. But the smoke will break. Can Super guess the right place? He can. They'll find in July. Actually blinks across. Still gets stunned after his ultimate. Duel comes through. Good catch there. Finally, something working in the favor. Godlike Streak actually for Monet. He hasn't died this game, which is actually quite impressive. Not so much anymore this time around here, at this point in the game, because he's sitting at 2k health and a decent amount of armor. But he didn't die in the beginning. iG.V weren't able to punish him, especially with the tower dive on top. That is quite impressive, so good on him. And now this is them just trying to drive it home. Get a pick off, go high ground. Problem is, iG.V gonna claim free tier 2 off of this. Paparazzi can push a little bit more if he wants to, but Gold's gonna need him to fight this. This is what the game boils down to. One team fight. If iG.V can defend this up against the Aegis, they should be fine. Sunray comes out defensively here. Steal him up, Super just trying to glimmer in, looking for a good opportunity to rock, but now he gets swapped out. They can take this away, they can with the duel. He has to buy back to turn this around, and he does. Nice little double stomp. BKB's come out now though. LFY still looking to try and win this fight. Another one down, and Dogfight is not coming back. Omni Slash coming through on a lot of heroes. There's a rock being dropped down. Everyone's... No one's actually being linked together, but they do have to follow control to bring down Dragon Knight. Great start. Jixing still gets a kill with elbows to blade mail. Monet, BKB still going, but the rest of the team starting to falter. Not without taking some names though, but not the names that are most important. Paparazzi still there, and he catches White. 5 for 4 trade or something like that. They also got the Aegis. But Monet gets out alive, and they do get the tier 3, so I don't know how I want to book this actually. Still a win for LFY. For now. But it's not a devastating loss. iG.V is still holding on to the racks. They still managed to get a couple of kills and only used one buyback on their Warlock, which is not the biggest deal in the world. This could be though Paparazzi looking for Phoenix, but of course. Icarus Dive, good spell. Especially if you don't have Bash or anything. He's not going for that either, he's going straight for the MKB. Because he recognized, hey, Monet, he has a butterfly, I need this. Damn. Need to be able to right-click this guy. And Juggernaut might actually want to be thinking about that himself. He did have the Skadi queued up for quite a while. Has the Orb of Venom, of course it's not the biggest investment, so he can easily switch to an MKB of his own if he wants to. I don't know if Skadi is really super useful in terms of like the offensive potential it gives you. Still great for a Juggernaut, just in terms of the stats it gives you. Just the extra damage they can make use of. It is not arguing about who can use the DD rune better. I guess it's Slark, yeah. He does have slightly more base damage. I'm giving you Cicada anyway. Here's the Omni Slash, so he has a reliable way of actually getting some damage on a couple of targets. But now Paparazzi running right into them here, and they find Monet first, but BKB comes off with the turnaround, the duel on top of the Slark here. White tries to channel his ultimate. Staccatus is no on that one now. He dives back into the fight. 2-for-1 trade so far, and it's iG.V who's starting to drop lower now. It's Super keeps racking away. Defensive swap from Monet. Paparazzi still looking for him. One right click will do the trick, and there it is. This is where team fight turns around. They're all slowed down thanks to Supers. Like the other Super, I mean. Paparazzi still going ham here, double kill, but now Sun Raid up. Can they keep it on target? They can indeed. It's actually LPC. Turns this particular fight around again. Bit of a slugfest. 3-for-2, I guess, this time around. Yeah. 4-for-2 with a buyback from LPC. This was without the Golem. This was with the initiation on the Venge. They were able to turn us around, but ultimately not enough to allow them to get back the edge in the fight. The two damage dealers from iG.V were staying alive, both Cicada and Paparazzi, while that fight was still sitting at the river's edge. And this is where, like, problem of Wise Draft start to show a little bit, because Vengeful Spirit as a carry, even with this kind of builds, I mean, how fast is it hitting right now? Every 0.5 seconds. So that's great, but Super not all that fast, 0.6 seconds. How does that compare to the others? Well, 0.5 seconds Juggernaut, well, 0.6 seconds on Slark. So my point that I wanted to make, completely invalid, but hey. But you gotta start to see this more and more, that just the right click is not gonna be enough to carry them through. Just in terms of damage, even with Monet being as strong as he is right now. Because if he's forced to walk away because he has low health, he's not right clicking. He's still the biggest damage output, I guess, next to Legion Commander if he gets a duel and Blade Mail going. Swap out aggressively here into the duel, speaking of which. Shixing doing it once again. This is where they start to rely on the Legion Commander as well. That's actually a really big pickup. They know he doesn't have buyback. And without that Warlock Golem, it's much harder for iG.V to take a fight on the high ground. So this last fight that they took in mid, just by this one pickoff, it's one of the extension from Super, just being almost rendered moods. Dogfights with his own dragon form, great. Try and turn this around still. They need to try and make something happen to not lose too much. Omni Slash coming through, a good amount of damage for Ney, but ultimately not enough. So they're gonna able to turn this around. Phoenix Sun in the middle of that Cicada trying to deal with that, but he realizes, hey, it's 3 people clicking me down. We'll be able to finish the job. Super with a triple kill. iG.V trying to fight without that Warlock Golem in their own base. Decided to take a chance, trying to delay this a little bit to hold on to the racks, but ultimately, L.G.D.F.Y. This goes to show the value of control, initiation, just the ability to burst somebody down at the beginning of a fight to make sure that they can't actually continue. Even if you don't kill them, if you force them to run away, it's the same thing. But this time around, Monet was taking about half health when he got his BKB off. So he was still able to continue. Now with another Aegis in hand, plus the cheese this time around. That's that. Picked up the cheese though. Am I? There it is. Legion Commander has it. Alright. iG.V. So reminder guys, they're the ones who made it through Kiev Major Regionals. L.G.D.F.Y got dropped out. They're giving us quite a good showing in this game, despite the draft starting to fizzle out, on paper anyway. Taking a look at the graphs, actually, that would be a good idea. Yeah, I mean, we're starting to fizzle, that's for sure. iG.V, for the first time this entire game, they actually had a net worth lead. A slight one, albeit, but still. Same for experience. But then, that one pickoff just changes the dynamics so much, because iG.V super, this Warlock is so crucial to their ability to take a team fight, and more importantly as well to um, the ability to scare L.G.D.F.Y of going high ground. That's taken out of the picture. You know he doesn't have buyback. Just huge boon for L.G.D.F.Y. And now iG.V, not sure about taking the fight outside base like this. They're gonna try and go for it, but L.G.D.F.Y, they don't know just yet. There it is. Stomp comes through. BKBs as well. All the spells being dropped. They do get Phoenix Sun off. Duel comes through. Take down another one. It is L.G.D.F.Y who takes the advantage in these fights. And even though the Phoenix goes down, so does iG.V, and this might very well be the game, actually. Juggernaut does have buyback, but none of the control factors do. And L.G.D.F.Y didn't even break a sweat. Look at their health pools. It's impossible to burst down, and now look at this. Just tearing through the buildings, and yeah, the GG has to be called, so... Crazy. Crazy how one single pickoff can just erase any hope for a team like iG.V. But hey, this is a best of 3, so they do have another chance to win this. And L.G.D.F.Y, well, they still have some work to do if they want to win this entire series. Yeah, great game number 1. The draft, uh, it was an early game draft. It was a team fighting draft. There was a while where I was worried that they would give up too much, that we're playing too defensively, but ultimately they were able to make the work, find the openings that they needed in time, and carry it home. Alright, I'm gonna take a short break, but I will be back with game number 2 in just a couple of minutes, so don't go too far away.